Well, we're a language school, so we're really good at figuring out how to help kids do language, read and write and communicate in multiple languages at a really high level. But I think I am not alone as a school leader really concerned about math. I kept seeing around me something around the country, but reflected here as well, which was these low middle school math scores. So whatever success we were replicating sort of on the other side was not getting replicated in math.
Laura and Jairo, school leaders, were really clear on what they wanted to fix this year. They knew what the data was telling them, which is, hey, 7th grade math is the hotspot. 3 things came really clear. We have ready math as a curriculum. What are the things that we are going to be really obsessed about in that curriculum? Secondly, we needed to make sure that what systems are we going to put in place to make sure that the curriculum is actually being taught the way as designed. Once when we had evidence of results with assessments, a gauge on whether or not the curriculum was being planned by teachers, how well is it being executed? Although Laura and Jairo, it's just a 2-person show, really hard to get into classrooms, they knew that they needed to, but also leveraging that first piece, which is, hey, what's the data, what student work are we going to look at that really tells the story of what's happening in instruction.
ANet, they help us, make us comfortable with observations, with feedback, with the teacher, with meaningful feedback. Go into the classroom and observe them and see what is the gaps. It's not only find the gaps, it's how we are going to address those gaps in a meaningful way.
Working with Jared and the dialogue back and forth to really center in on how we were going to approach middle school math, specifically writing in math, almost approaching math from a language arts standpoint, right? Having a rubric, looking at, justification of answers, and really centering around fidelity to that high quality curriculum. But again, I have great teachers and I have good students. So we have ANet, we have all of these pieces. So it was kind of using all the good pieces in a different way to achieve the results. I was kind of blown away. We really can do this. But then I was like, okay, so we can do more. That just made sort of that fire, it's if we can do 30, then what else can we do?
Middle school students, they are pretty interesting because they want to learn, but we need to keep them motivated. And they say, you seem so long, I got it. I say, yeah. Be proud of you. I say, yeah, but because you helped me. Yeah, but you did the job.
Often we just say, well, we're a language school, and we are really good at that. But that somehow makes it an excuse, we're not a math school, right? Those are those STEM schools, right? No. I look in the future and saying, no, we're a really good school that allows every kid to absolutely maximize their potential and master the subjects that will allow them the key to access the next level. I don't want any of them to not have access.